Today we're going to check out Delhi and India for the first time, and everything the capital city of India has to offer. But I didn't realize it could be so fantastic, but at the same time, not what I expected. So as an American traveler who loves everything India, I want to talk about the 10 biggest things that shocked me the most when I arrived in Delhi. So buckle up and get ready, cause I'll say the things that I like about it, but also the stuff that I did not expect to see in the capital city at all. And at the end, I will tell you what I really felt about the city. But let's get the biggest praise I have out of the way, and that is, I couldn't believe the air is so clean in Delhi. It's like every time I breathe in, my lungs get filled with the freshest clean air I have ever. Guys, what is the symptom of lung cancer? So I knew nothing about the air pollution before coming here. Since back in America, and I'm not even kidding you, like whenever the American media talks about Delhi or India in general, it's always something positive like India is replacing China in 10 years. Delhi is the next Japan in Asia. So I was shocked to find out that Delhi actually ranks as one of the most polluted cities in the world. And how the rich people who run the city don't care at all, because they can buy those air purifying machines. But what about the rest of us? What about the people working outdoors in Delhi? And I think it was my second day in Delhi, a girl next to me was already coughing up blood and like yellow gooey stuff. And I honestly didn't know yellow goo could be coughed out of the human body before I visited here. But one thing I definitely love about the city, despite everything I've said, is totally the beautiful ocean, mountains, and beaches, and the amazing supply of clean water. Okay, that's enough sarcasm for today. But believe it or not, I actually find the people in Delhi quite nice and genuine. Even though many of my Indian friends in Delhi told me it's difficult to find good friends, definitely a lot more difficult than smashing the sub button if you enjoy the video so far. But Delhi is the only city in India where I get to practice my Hindi because I'm a beginner, you know, I talk a bit slow. But everyone I came across on the street always has the patience to listen to me, and even taught me a few Hindi words. So if you say the most beautiful thing in Delhi is the people living here, then I would 100% agree. And the most memorable moment I would say is when I first arrived in Delhi in the evening. It was chaotic and it's winter, so it's also getting dark. But the people on the bus actually wrote me a map and told me where to find the connecting bus, and then walk over to tell the next bus driver where they should drop me off. That never happened anywhere, even in other parts of India. But that was only one of the things I love about Delhi, with so much more down the line that I think the locals don't even realize about their city. And that is Delhi is surprisingly cheaper than other parts of India, even when compared to like the smaller far away towns. For example, I can easily find food to eat for around 200 rupees. But in other parts of India, I can't even get something similar for 500 rupees. All of the hotels I've stayed in Delhi were also 2 to 3 times cheaper than the hotels I found in other states of India. A ride in the Delhi metro only cost me 10 to 30 rupees. The bus is literally free if I only take it for a few stops. And last but totally the craziest, the tourist attractions in Delhi were so much more affordable to visit. So many of them are free to enter. I couldn't even believe it. And the ones you have to pay for, I pay around 200 rupees for a ticket. As compared to the lovely Palace and National Museum in Kolkata, asking me to pay 500 rupees just to go in, bro. I almost declare bankruptcy on that day. And this also goes for, let's say, if you want snacks and drinks, as I seem to pay around the same for them as compared to other states of India. So it's only fair to say that Delhi may be the only capital city in the world that doesn't try to rip you off. But it only gets even crazier from now because, to my biggest surprise, Delhi is so okay with tourists like myself. Nobody asks for pictures when you walk down the street. Nobody makes eye contact and wants to know where you came from. Nobody chases you down the street asking for 10 rupees. Okay, that actually happened quite a few times. You know, whenever I visit other parts of India, I couldn't even walk down to have lunch without the locals wanting 15 selfies, asking me if I'm Korean, or wanting me to marry their cousin. And this alone makes Delhi extremely relaxing to travel in. But the next one is kind of a weird difference that I noticed, and that is people spend so much time on their phones. Like, have you ever noticed that? I always knew India as a nation that values the connection between people and their friends and family, so it's weird to me to see the locals going out, sitting down, having a family dinner, and then just playing on their phones like American teenagers. And as someone who doesn't enjoy being on my device, I'm like a living caveman or something. But a few days into my trip in Delhi, bro, I also begun to do the doom scrolling just to fit in and behave like the locals. But now we're getting into the ones that absolutely shocked me beyond imaginations. Cause Delhi is the first and probably the only place in India where it's possible to find massive outdoor green walkable spaces even deep inside the bustling city. If there's one thing my Indian friends always complain about living in India, it's how difficult it is to have a place to relax outside of work. Well, in Delhi, I came across more parks than I could remember, and they're like massive. It takes half a day just to go around it. The next thing I want to mention also has to do with having big walkable spaces, and that is how easy it is to find a public toilet in Delhi. So you know how like Indian food and drink are the best in the universe? And traveler like myself, bro, we always seem to overeat. But finding a toilet when you need one right away, it's always a bit of a challenge in India. If you know, you know. Well, in Delhi, I never had to worry about that, as I could either find free public ones or the ones you have to pay a few coins. And also the restaurants were pretty friendly when I said I really needed to use one. So on this alone, I would say Delhi is doing way better than all of the cities in America combined. And if I were to compare Delhi to the typical American big cities like New York and San Francisco, the similarity is also there. As saying you don't really get to meet people from Delhi the same way you don't see New Yorkers in New York. So Delhi is like a mixed society where people from all over the world will go and live there. And frankly, I wasn't expecting this as well. But nothing would shock me more as a first-time traveler in Delhi than the fact that you guys totally love your dogs more than anyone else. I have never seen people dressing up their dogs for winter and even holding them in their hands instead of letting them walk until I came to Delhi. I'm saying we all know India loves dogs, but you guys in Delhi, bro, you took that to another level. But I do have to say that Delhi doesn't deserve a lot of criticism from international travelers on the internet, saying how it's messy and dirty and the street food will send you straight to the hospital. As I absolutely enjoy every single moment that I got to spend in your beautiful city. But my one small complaint would be about the random holes on the sidewalks. And it's not like they're tiny, some of them are massive. And if you're not paying attention, you might literally fall right into one. But hey, America isn't known for having the best sidewalks as well. Because in this video, I want to compare living in America versus living in India, and which of the two is truly the best. But you will not believe what I have to say at the end.